There. May I have your attention in the barn? As we're kicking off the 163rd Fulton County Fair, we are honored to have the Fulton County Veterans Honor Guard here to honor our flag, play our anthem. I ask for everybody to stand and gentlemen to take your hats off as they go down and stand near underneath the flag. And our anthem will be played. And I want you to remain standing as the honor guard does an about face and exits the building. Please stand till they get out. Thank you.
Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the first call for the showmanship class, beef breeding 16 years old and older. I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding showmanship 16 years old and older.
lot breeding. Breeding, that was it. I want you to get shot by your age. Yeah, oh yeah.
Thank you for attending the Fulton County Junior Fair. We are happy that you can celebrate the Junior Fair exhibitors who have worked hard to achieve completion in their 4-H and FFA projects. All persons on the Fulton County Fairgrounds are required to have a wristband. All persons are required to wear a cloth face covering that covers the chin and nose while on the fairgrounds, specifically if in a barn, bathroom, office, or arena. Hand sanitizer should be applied regularly, or hands should be washed frequently. Hand sanitizer stations are located throughout the fairgrounds. All show arenas are sanitized daily. We ask you to observe proper social distancing of 6 feet or more between different groups. Groups cannot be more than 10 people. Please refrain from shaking hands, giving hugs, or other forms of physical contact. Consider giving a nod or friendly wave to people you know, judges, fellow Junior Fair exhibitors, and other non-family members. Seating inside the Spangler and Sale arenas is at 50% capacity. Every other bench will be marked, signed, or taped off for no seating. With limited seating, please allow priority seating for attendees with the Junior Fair youth currently exhibiting in the ring. Additionally, please leave your seat as soon as possible after your exhibitor is done showing. We want you to have a positive, healthy experience at the Fulton County Junior Fair. Thank you. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding showmanship 16 years old and over. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding showmanship 16 years old and older. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, 16 years old and over. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, 16 years old and older. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding showmanship, 14 to 15 years old. I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding showmanship, 14 to 15 years old. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding showmanship, 14 to 15 years old. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding showmanship, 14 to 15 years old. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, 14 to 15 years old. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, ages 14 to 15 years old.
Good evening. As we get into, I guess we got our senior showmanship here this evening, and I know I'm assuming at least under normal or certain circumstances that normal circumstances, this young lady would have a little bit more competition out here, and I think she could stand some competition if I'm not sure the heifer wants to cooperate with her this evening, but that's probably somewhat due part to the fact that she's the only one out here, and I don't know how many times being a January calf, as she told me, she probably hadn't been in the ring too many times, but the young lady's kept her poise and her composure with a heifer that can be, just wants to throw her head around and kind of show her who's the boss, and I think she'll be a nice cow for the young lady, but the young lady does a pretty good job with her, very knowledgeable, the heifer, and informed me that they've raised her and just knew her breeding and what age she was, and those are things that we get to the senior level. We definitely need to know those things, so kudos to you. But excellent young showman. Wish she had a little more competition out here today.
Congratulations to our showmanship beef breeding ages 16 to 18. First place, number 608, Allison Herr. Thank you to our trophy sponsor for this class, King Excavating. Attention the barns, attention the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding showmanship 12 to 13 years old. I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding showmanship 12 to 13 years old. Jason Beal is from Washington Courthouse, Ohio. He attended Blackhawk East Community College and Michigan State University and was a member of the national champion livestock judging team. Jason currently owns and operates JB Show Cattle, where he runs about 15 cows and market show steers and breeding heifers via online sales as well as privately. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding showmanship, 12 to 13 years old. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding showmanship, 12 to 13 years old. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, 12 to 13 years old. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, 12 to 13 years old.
We get these two young people out here for second class in showmanship. I think it gets fairly close, but and they're both doing a good job out here, both fairly knowledgeable with their animals. At least both of them have raised these heifers, and the young man here closest to me, the heifer is relaxed, and she told me she showed her here last year, and she respects him on the halter. Maybe just not quite as quick and as efficient at getting that heifer set up. Like, look where she's set up right now. Young man, where those legs are. That offset is correct, but it needs to be offset the other way. Does that make sense? Maybe just not quite as quick or efficient at getting the most and the best look out of that animal as the young lady out here. But the young man does a good job. I mean, he's in control of the heifer, and he's confident, just not quite as fluid or quite as quick and efficient at getting a good look out of that heifer. The young lady with the cow knows the heifer. She does a good job with her. She too is very relaxed, very poised, but yet confident, and the heifer respects her on the halter. She gets her set up, and she just kind of, she's done a better job of getting a better look out of that animal for a longer term. When we go around, we walk them, and then we get them parked here, head to tail. Young man, also, we want to get that heifer off. Get yourself off the rail. Like even right now, you're having a little trouble just kind of getting back to even see where those feet need to be. Does that make sense? So, and then you just start to kind of blend in with the gates. I don't care where you're at in the ring or how many people are in here. And obviously there is plenty of space out here. So when there's only one or two of you, to some extent, it's like, well, where do I go? Or what do I do? There's no line or no people to follow. And that's maybe sometimes where that experience or lack of experience kind of shows and maybe helps dictate a decision here or there. So just for future, like with the young lady, just kind of stayed out off the gate, and it just giving yourself a little bit more room to work the heifer, and then the cattle look so much better. Both of you maybe I would just like to see maybe stand with your feet square. I mean, this is minute or whatever, but I know young man, you were like this a little bit, and young lady, just put your, I mean, you're not gonna stand like a soldier, but I'm just saying, get your feet square and get out in front of young lady. You're at where you need to be from the side. As far as I always tell kids, you kind of want, once you get that animal set up, you want to kind of draw a line from that calf's nose to the ground, and don't get back in that space. Don't get back, because when you're standing behind that head and neck, it just takes away from the heifer. For the same reason that we want to get this heifer off the rail a little bit. It just takes away from them. So the young lady we're going to use to win this particular class, and the young man will be second. But let's give them a round of applause. Zach.
Congratulations to our beef breeding, showmanship ages 14 to 15 class winners. In second place, we have 617 Corey Savage, and in first place, we have 614 Jenna Norman. Congratulations. Thank you to our showmanship beef breeding ages 14 to 15 trophy sponsors. Thank you, Fulton County Farm Bureau. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding showman 11 years old and under. I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding showmanship 11 years old and under. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding showmanship, 11 years old and under. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding showmanship, 11 years old and under.
And like all air brand entries and the dairy entries are not here. Yeah. 6:15, so I'll let you know. Okay.
Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, 11 years old and under. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding showmanship, 11 years old and under.
Our next class is showmanship here, I believe. Are you kids 13, 14, or 15, 16? I'm not sure what age group we are, but our third class, we're starting to get into a little more numbers here and creating a little more competition. I think the two young people here in first and second get kind of rise to the top just in terms of that next level confidence and ability to handle and get a good look out of their animals. And the young lady we're going to use to win the class is just because of that next level, again, confidence, work ethic. She's aggressive out here. When she gets a good look out of this heifer, it's a good look. It's a little tough at times, or a little tough to maintain. She said she's a little harder-headed kind of heifer, and I could see that. But she's got a natural ability and is pretty smooth and gets that heifer set up where she needs to be. When she does, she gets a really good look out of her. The young man here in second, again, maybe just not quite as aggressive. He gets a good look out of this heifer. He's fairly knowledgeable of her. When we pulled him around here head to tail, though, I was waiting for you. I just wanted to see you do two things, and one, she cocked her tail up, and then she really cocked it up when she started to pee. And you either got to get that tail back down, or walk her, to get it set up. And I don't know, her feet were fine, so maybe you were just thinking, hey, good enough. But in a tough showmanship class with another good showman out there, there's the little things like that kind of separate her. And then, young man, also, I'd like to see you just get out away from that heifer's face just a little bit, and not be right behind her head and neck when you're holding her. The young man here in third with the black heifer is not really necessarily doing anything wrong. That heifer is cool, calm, and collected. She respects him on the halter. He's just not quite as aggressive or at getting as good a look out of her, and wasn't quite as knowledgeable when we started asking him a couple questions about the heifer specifically. Young man bringing up the class, his heifer just gets a little headstrong here from time to time. Maybe doesn't want to be the showmanship heifer. This evening we visited about a couple things, and he's doing a good job and hanging in there, just not quite as fluid or in terms of don't have the control in terms of getting the most out of his animal as some of the other kids in this class.
Congratulations to our beef breeding showmanship, 11 years old and under. In fourth place, number 613, Chet Meyer. In third place, number 604, Hunter Downs. In second place, 609, Daniel Johnson. In first place, 616, Kaylee Sager. Thank you to our beef breeding showmanship ages 12 to 13 trophy sponsor, King Excavating. Attention the barns, attention the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding junior heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2020. I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding junior heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2020. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding junior heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2020. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding junior heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2020. Attention the barns, attention the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding junior heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2020. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding junior heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2020.
As we get our young people out here, and we all got yearling heifers. Of course, some are bigger than others, but and some kids are bigger than others. But they're all doing a pretty good job out here. But my point is, when it gets to be younger kids and older cattle, and it's a cool evening, these cattle haven't been out for a while, I'm sure, and they're feeling good. And they just probably came in today, so they're kind of feeling their oats and not sure what to think. Really, all having said all that, they're all doing really good, but it's making it a little tougher on a couple kids here and there, just kind of maintaining that control and composure, because when the cattle get this size and want to throw their head, it feels like they're trying to send you to the rafters. and that's not necessarily what they're doing. None of these cattle are crazy. They just know when they want to kind of handle you guys a little bit, they probably can, and that has kind of maybe sorted some of you out this evening. But I think all these kids are doing a good job. A couple big picture things just for the class. Some of you you need a bigger show stick, and I don't know if you know that, but it's apparent when I see you try and reach the hind legs of a bigger animal. You can't reach it half the time, and then you're pulling back on the holder and you're trying to get the leg to go forward. But on a little longer show stick, I think, and I know it sometimes you feel like, oh, I don't know if I can handle that. That show stick just gets a little tougher to handle, and it might be. You got to pay attention. We had a couple quick little almost sword fights out here, which is what you got to pay attention to. Show stick needs to be pointing down at all times unless you're using it, not swinging it around up in the air. And I know nobody's intentionally doing that, but it's just something you got to remember how you're handling that. The other thing is a couple of you got awfully short holders, and I'm not saying that's why these cattle are getting away, because it's not. Like I said, they're just feeling good. They're big. When they want to move, they're going to move. But you got to be able to get two hands on that holder. All right? I'm not saying you have to lead them with two hands. I don't necessarily believe that. But you need to have enough holder that when they throw that head, you can get two hands on there, especially for some of you at this younger age, because one hand don't cut it. I got 40 calves I'm breaking on at home. And granted, they're not broke, but man, too short a holder, there is nothing worse. Those were just a couple things. Another thing, and again, young people doing this, when we're lined up head to tail, a couple of you had to pull out and pull back in. And I know I mentioned to you, young lady, but this is just such a common thing with young people. When you pull out a line, have to pull back in, most of the time everybody goes straight in, and then you start to turn around and stop and you realize, oh shoot, I'm no longer lined up head to tail. I'm kind of side by side, everybody else is head to tail, and then you're trying to figure out how to scoot your heifer like you're trying to parallel park a car, and you pull in real hard, slam on the brakes, and hopefully you fishtail her in there. And that's not how it works. You got to go back, all right? Give yourself some room. If you're lined up right here and you pull out, you got to take that animal back and then turn so you can pull her straight in. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just something that if parents sitting around ringside can explain that to some of the kids, because it is such it's a simple concept, but it's not easy, and it creates this problem sometimes that we don't even know are there. But the two young people here that we're going to use at the top of the class just have a little more control over their animals here this evening, a little more composure. The young lady that we used to win the class does so to the highest degree. They're towards the end. You two, I think, are really close in terms of overall ability. And actually, I thought the young lady in second was going to use to win the class. But the longer we stayed out here, heifer started fighting you a little bit. And young lady, you have always just maintained that composure, and that heifer has respected you. And they've all done a good job, and we just visited with them a little bit. But the young lady here that we're going to use to win, you can go ahead and walk her out, young lady, as we're talking to you. Is just did the best job at keeping the most consistent and best look out of her heifer. Young lady here in second does a good job as well, maybe even a little more aggressive. I mean, you can tell she wants it, and she's smooth, and her heifer just started to get a little ornery out here, as she is right now. And I think she's trying to say she just wants to maybe go be a cow. And, that happens with these heifers sometimes. But she respects the young lady. She's just kind of saying, I'm done with showmanship here this evening. It was becoming more apparent when we're out there head to tail. But you do a good job showing this heifer, and you get a good look at her. That's a real good look right now. The next two young people in third and fourth, you guys are doing a good job. maybe young lady, I love you, have a good positive attitude, or a pleasure to visit with, and I appreciate that. Just maybe need to have a little more control over, and I say you need to have. It's okay. That heifer acted up a little bit, and then your heifer start. It's somewhat of a domino effect and a trend. When a calf starts running, and then another one's like, hey, I'll run with you. And at this age, sometimes it's hard to hang on to. So, but those are the things that just come. And that's where I was talking about on both of you. That halter is maybe just a little short. If nothing else, if I'm you, just from a confidence standpoint, when I go to lead my calf, I just want to be able to know. You don't want the thing dragging the ground, but by golly, you need to make sure you got plenty to be able to get two hands on there and let that calf actually turn its head without the only outcome being it get jerked out of your hands. Make sense? But let's give them all a round of applause as they exit.
Congratulations to our beef breeding showmanship ages 9 to 11 class winners. In fourth place, we have number 618, Aiden Scheller. In third place, we have number 615, Maybell Rettel. In second place, we have 600, Aspen Brame. And in first place, 605, Allison Earl. Congratulations. Thank you to our beef breeding showmanship ages 9 to 11 trophy sponsors. Thank you, Airing Farms, Ltd. Attention the barns, attention the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding senior heifer calf born between September 1st and December 31st of 2019. I repeat, this is the first call for senior heifer calf born between September 1st and December 31st of 2019.
Because nobody would be with her, and no, we put her in and I'm like, yeah, but the first time somebody sees you, they're gonna come up and start talking, and then that's when you trust it. It's hard. It is. Really hard. So I just
Tonight's beef breeding judge is Jason Beal. Jason Beal is from Washington Courthouse, Ohio. He attended Black Hawk East Community College and Michigan State University and was a member of the National Champion Livestock Judging Team. Jason currently owns and operates JB Show Cattle, where he runs about 15 cows and market show steers and breeding heifers via online sales as well as privately. Tonight's beef breeding judge, Jason Beal. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding senior heifer calf born between September 1st and December 31st of 2019. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding senior heifer calf born between September 1st and December 31st of 2019.
I bet we have one that fits well on top, so. We may.
I wondered if you guys did. I love it. So everybody in your club has one.
I mean, if we can't see anything but eyes, I'll at least know, look in the crowd and know who's supposed to be with you.
Well, I walked up to one of the Junior Fairway fans and I got this far away and I'm like, oh, Kayla.
No.
I have to stay down here. I'm kind of in charge. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's sort of. So, in case something happens, I have to be there. Well, it's nice that you guys got to come down and enjoy the beach relationship. You want to show Bill? That's fine. Totally fair. Why am I not surprised?
Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding senior heifer calf born between September 1st and December 31st of 2019. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding senior heifer calf born between September 1st and December 31st of 2019.
As we get into our breeding heifer show, we get our first class of calves, and obviously with the numbers here this evening, I'm sure we've just thrown all the different breeds in this initial class, but which creates some little bit of difference, obviously in terms of a type and a kind, and just a little bit of an age scenario, but I'm not really putting too much emphasis on that. It's just spring-born calves, and I think it kind of sorts itself out into two pairs, I guess, or but of the two here on top, I wouldn't argue. If somebody wanted to change them, I think there's give and take in both of them. But I do like the extra stoutness and skeletal dimension and just brood cow look and of the young lady's painted up heifer here. This heifer is a little excessive in terms of her condition, whether she stayed on the cow a little too long or the cow milked too well, which is a good problem. But this is a growing, performing animal, and we respect and appreciate that. Sometimes in the show ring, we want them so exotic and so clean and so freaky. They're almost hard doing, and we feed enough of it onto them. And I don't know if that's necessary. And there's no right or wrong. I'm just talking about differences. Sometimes I like them when they're a little hard doing. Sometimes I like them when they're a little easier fleshing. And I think if we melt this heifer down a little bit, which would not hurt her one iota, I think this is a heifer that I like that performance, and I think she's still smooth and put together very well. Now, there's going to be a day here in the not-so-distant future when that starts to test, if she continues to go in the direction that she is condition-wise, and that chest starts coming out even more, shoulder opens up, her tail head can start to come out of her. So, I'm not telling you how to manage your heifer. She's got enough condition, but a nice female with some cowy properties and qualities, as does the young lady's heifer here coming out in second, one that is certainly more correct and cleaner in terms of her condition, and I think is a one that is angular and attractive and very feminine about her build. She's just given up enough dimension and power and substance today to that class, the heifer we're going to use to win the class. From there, the young lady's shorthorn appearing heifer, is one that just gets a little flatter, a little more so maybe from the side. We just like to give her a little more heart and forerib and flank, and maybe just see her a little better right there in her top line. But I still like her extension, her length of pattern, her smoothness, and her what appears to be a later maturity pattern than the heifer that brings up the class. The young man's heifer that brings up the class has a little more to her. Maybe even a little better just out of her shoulder angle and right into her forerib. She's got a little more center body, but she's just a little more compact, a little shorter body, a little shorter fronted heifer that may be starting to flirt with looking a little more terminal in terms of her build.
Congratulations to our beef breeding junior heifer, January 1st to March 30th class winners. In fourth place, we have number 604, Hunter Downs. In third, 600, Aspen Brim. In second, Allison Herr. In first, 614, Jenna Norman. Congratulations. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding, summer yearling heifer calf, born between May 1st and August 31st of 2019. I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding, summer yearling heifer calf, born between May 1st and August 31st of 2019. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding, summer yearling heifer calf, born between May 1st and August 31st of 2019. I repeat, this is the second call for summer yearling heifer calf, born between May 1st and August 31st of 2019.
We have a single entry in our senior heifer calf class, and one that I don't think is real excited to be out here. She just won't relax for this young lady and just give us a look. She's informed me she's a purebred Angus, and she's a heifer that's fairly smooth in terms of her build and has some center body to her. It's a little hard to tell structurally how this heifer moves, just because she's fighting the young lady at every step, and then she stops and she wants to just kind of suck her neck down in and open those shoulders up a little bit, and it kind of makes her look like she's a little round and open there at the top of her shoulder, and I can't tell if she is or she just doesn't want to. She just wants that right there. It's exactly what she's doing. It's not a very becoming look, heifer. Cooperate for the young lady. But hopefully with time and going forward, she will. A nice little heifer that could probably stand some more competition out here today.
Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding, summer yearling heifer calf, born between May 1st and August 31st of 2019. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding, summer yearling heifer calf, born between May 1st and August 31st of 2019. Congratulations to our beef breeding senior heifer September 1st to December 31st class winners. Congratulations in first place to 600 Aspen Brim. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding, junior yearling heifer calf, born between January 1st and April 30th of 2019. I repeat, This is the first call for junior yearling heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2019. Attention the barns, attention the barns. This is the second call for junior yearling heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2019. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding junior yearling heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2019.
Yeah, a single entry in this shorthorn appearing heifer, one that's long bodied. It has some substance. We'd like to change her a little bit in her top line, and maybe as she goes away from you, she just gets a little wide behind relative to the muscle shape and the dimension that she has. So we just change her a little bit there. But I like the extension, I like the stoutness and the substance of this heifer.
Attention the barns, attention the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding junior yearling heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2019. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding junior yearling heifer calf born between January 1st and April 30th of 2019. Congratulations to our beef breeding summer yearling heifer from May 1st to August 31st of 2019 class winner. Congratulations to first place Allison Earl in 605. Attention the barns, attention the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding senior yearling heifer calf born between May 1st and December 31st of 2018. I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding senior yearling heifer calf born between May 1st and December 31st of 2018. Thank you for attending the Fulton County Junior Fair. We are happy that you can celebrate the Junior Fair exhibitors who have worked hard to achieve completion in their 4-H and FFA projects. All persons on the Fulton County Fairgrounds are required to have a wristband. All persons are required to wear a cloth face covering that covers the chin and nose while on the fairgrounds, specifically if in a barn, bathroom, office, or arena. Hand sanitizer should be applied regularly, or hands should be washed frequently. Hand sanitizer stations are located throughout the fairgrounds. All show arenas are sanitized daily. We ask you to observe proper social distancing of 6 feet or more between different groups. Groups cannot be more than 10 people. Please refrain from shaking hands, giving hugs, or other forms of physical contact. Consider giving a nod or friendly wave to people you know, judges, fellow Junior Fair exhibitors, and other non-family members. Seating inside the Spangler Arena and Sale Arenas are both at 50% capacity. Every other bench will be marked, signed, or taped off for no seating. With limited seating, please allow priority seats for attendees with the Junior Fair youth currently exhibiting in the ring. Additionally, please leave your seat as soon as possible after your exhibitor is done showing. We want you to have a positive, healthy experience at the Fulton County Junior Fair. Thank you. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding senior yearling heifer calf born between May 1st and December 31st of 2018. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding senior yearling heifer calf born between May 1st and December 31st of 2018. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for senior yearling heifer calf born between May 1st and December 31st of 2018. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding senior yearling heifer calf born between May 1st and December 31st of 2018.
The heifer that we use to win this class does so rather handily. I think just in terms of style and quality, she's a powerfully constructed heifer. I like that. I mean, it's hard to see in this dirt, but I can just tell she's pretty good footed just from the way she tracks through here. You know, this heifer's got some foot and some substance. I like her bone. She's stout enough bone, but still real good in terms of her joint. She's just a heifer that has a lot of natural thickness and a lot of width and dimension. When she's not fighting the young lady, she kind of looks like she can labor a little bit at times when she's got other things on her mind, but when she's relaxed and just going, that's a really sound heifer that has a lot to her. Maybe a little excessive in terms of her condition, but hey, she's getting to be an older, heavier bred heifer. I forget when the young lady said she was bred. I'm just assuming. I remember saying she's with January that she's earned it. She's so heifer. We probably feed these things a little too much, trying to get too much out of them. It'll serve her well as a cow. The heifer here coming out in second is I like her length. I like her smoothness. But coupled with that, in relation to that size and that extension, we need to kind of maybe just give her a little more oomph or substance, just some rib shape right there at the center part of her body. She's a heifer that's still fairly deep in terms of her forerib and her flank. She just needs more true belly shape. And she has some spring up high from behind. She's a big hip heifer, almost so much like I don't want to see any more hip for a smooth. Wish she just if we could give her a little more right there through the center part of her body. But I like that angularity. I like her length of body and just a nice female. The heifer here coming out third is one that's stout and has some muscle in terms of natural thickness, but she is one also that we'd like to change through the center a little bit. She needs a little more maternal, angular, smoother build in just terms of, and the young man mentioned this in showmanship, like up through her front end, maybe pick her chest up in her and flatten out her shoulder a little bit and just change her, like we said, right there through the center part of her body. Just give her a little more body and maybe strengthen her in her top ever so slightly. From there, we run into a couple heifers that are easy keeping in that regard, and cattle that maybe, actually, the next young man's heifer is one that is nice balanced, is one that's fairly sound in terms of her structure, just a little shorter bodied. Doesn't have quite as much to her as the heifers ahead of her. And then we run into the pair of heifers that are easier keeping females that just give up some balance and some style and some eye appeal, probably a little excessive in terms of their condition today.
Congratulations to our beef breeding junior yearling heifer from January 1st to April 30th of 2019 class winners. In fifth place, we have 618 Aiden Scheller. In fourth place, we have 617 Corey Savage. In third place, we have 609 Daniel Johnson. In second place, we have 614 Jenna Norman. In first place, 616 Kaylee Sager. Congratulations.
He wants the first on the inside or on the rail?
Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the first call for beef breeding cow 2 years and over, born before May 1st of I repeat, this is the first call for beef breeding cows 2 years old and over, born before May 1st of 2018. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the second call for beef breeding cows 2 years old and over, born before May 1st of 2018. I repeat, this is the second call for beef breeding cows 2 years old and over, born before May 1st of 2018.
We've got a pair of heifers out here, and I think we got a little bit of a class mix up again, perhaps, because we've got a November senior yearling, and then we have a May junior yearling here. So there's a little bit of an age difference, but I don't know what class this young lady need to land in with this heifer, but she's a nice heifer nonetheless. I do think we're going to use the young lady's shorthorn heifer here to win this class, though, even regardless of the age difference. A little bigger, a little longer, a little more elegant. She's a smoother shouldered, longer fronted heifer that has a nice cowy look and build to her. The young lady's black heifer here with the white switch, it is one that's more moderate, maybe just a nickel coarser, not quite as refined up to her front end, but she's a good bodied heifer that's fairly sound structured when she lets herself go with you, right? And she has a natural thickness, just not quite as extended, quite as feminine as the young lady's shorthorn heifer in this class.
Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. This is the third and final call for beef breeding cows 2 years old and over, born before May 1st of 2018. I repeat, this is the third and final call for beef breeding cows 2 years and over, born before May 1st of 2018. Congratulations to our beef breeding senior yearling heifers from May 1st to December 31st of 2018, class winners. In second place, we have 615 Maybell Rettel in second place. In first place, 600 Aspen Brem. Congratulations. Attention the barns, attention the barns. Will all first and second place winners from each breeding class return to the ring for the final drive? I repeat, will all first and second place winners from each breeding class return to the ring for the final drive?
this young lady of her single cow entry could certainly stand a little more competition out here. I think this is a real feminine, good-looking female. She's a 3-year-old, I believe, right? That's good structured. She's good size, you know, for a 3-year-old, and still that heifer's still growing. That cow's still growing and maturing. She's long-bodied. She's really long-bodied, and maybe flirting with a potential length of body to depth ratio that we need to fix a little bit. I don't want to see her any harder centered right through her center body, but I think she's acceptable in that regard, and she is, just the young lady just informed me she's had a calf on her. It's been weaned 3 weeks, and it was a calf that she showed earlier in the show, and you can see why that calf is doing well. Because this cow has a good udder. She's got a good size and shape to her teats. She's got a hairy udder. If we had a hairy udder award, I don't know if you've had this cow in the cooler, but somehow that's the hairiest udder I've seen in a while for a cow raising a calf coming out of summer. But I like her feet. I like her substance. A cow that could certainly stand some more competition. We'll see how she looks out here against some of the yearlings and the calves for her overall. Let's give the young lady a round of applause.
Congratulations to our beef breeding cow, 2 years old and older, born before May 1st of 2018 class winner. Congratulations first place to 614 Jenna Norman.
Let's give these young people a round of applause. And parents, give yourselves a round of applause also, or at least young people, thank your parents when you get out of here tonight, and thank the people around the ring. I know the scenario has been a lot different this year, and I'm sure there was a lot of extra behind the scenes work and activities and little things here and there that kind of that went on, be it on the phone or in via here, just to make this happen, to give you all the opportunity to be able to show, because as we all know, with what's changed or what started happening in February or March or whenever it was, it certainly changed things. And right, wrong, I don't know, but I'm just glad you're here to be able to be able to have this opportunity to be able to show the cattle. And because this is something I just keep saying here when I've been at county fairs and shows through the summer, the agriculture community is a strong and resilient community. And I know those of you that it'd have been real easy here in March to quit working on these animals, because gosh, they're not going to have anything. We're not going to have any place to go. And I'm sure there's some people and a lot of people that did. But there's a lot of you that did not. And that's apparent here by some of the cattle here. And it's been apparent everywhere I went. And that says something. It says a couple things. First and foremost, that you really thoroughly enjoy and love doing this. And knowing that I may not have a place to go with this animal, but I'm not going to be the guy that got caught not working or not doing what I need and want to do if they have something. And that's a lot of work. That's a lot of commitment. And but I commend you for doing that, because those are the types of things and the types of qualities that build the character and the reasons why we are involved in showing cattle and involved in showing sheep and showing hogs and involved in 4-H in general. You have a beautiful fairgrounds. I don't know that I've ever been here. If I thought I had, and if I have, it's been a while. But beautiful fairgrounds. This is a beautiful barn, and we'll be back in business with a full barn next year. And I know some of you didn't have some competition here in the young ladies' senior showmanship, who's a heck of a showman. Calf doesn't necessarily want to cooperate tonight, but having said that, it's been a nice show. I know we haven't had too many numbers, but there's a couple nice heifers out here. I think there's a couple, and I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag too, that surfaced to me in terms of the two out here that need to be champion and or reserve. I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of those real quick, because to me, I think just big picture wise, from a female standpoint, hey, I got some cows at home. Not a whole lot of numbers, 15 or 20, but they got to work. And these cows have to work. When I say that, I mean they got to be able to lay down and have a calf. They got to be able to flesh back up. They got to be able to breed back. They got to have the structure and the functionality and the longevity to be able to keep and maintain. I mean, unless you just got endless money to turn over cows and keep recycling and trying to find ones that work. Those are the kinds of things and qualities they need to possess. But I also realize we're in the show ring, and we need to have some look and some balance and some quality. We all want that. I don't care whether you're showing, you're just walking out the house to look at you. I mean, the reason why this started one day was somebody looked at their neighbor's cows and said, well, mine's better than yours. And the neighbor said, bull crap, we'll see you at the county fair. So they called somebody to come in and search. I mean, it's just obviously the evolution of competition. Look how far we have come. And that's why we do this. We never know what's going to happen. There's a different type and kind for each person. One of the kinds that I'm talking about is the young lady's junior yearling. The black heifer that would be from class 4 is one of the heifers that I really like. She's, as we mentioned in class, she's powerfully constructed. Young lady, why don't you just, so everybody knows which one we're talking about, just take her, take her a spin out there. She's a powerfully constructed heifer that has a lot of width and dimension. She's in that, that prime age in terms of, she's bred. She's starting to get a little belly. A little excessive in terms of her condition, as we mentioned, and I dislike that about this heifer, but she does handle it well for as excessive in terms of her condition as she is. But I do like the power, I like the stoutness, I like the substance, and she still has a cowy kind of a look. When I say she's in that prime, it seems to be really tough right now to beat a junior yearling in a breeding heifer show, because they're cattle that are bred. They're starting to get further along in calf. They haven't totally lost the cuteness show heifer factor. I'm not saying right or wrong or good or bad, but it just is what it is. The junior yearling is a good spot to be in. But then the other one we have is the cow, which is really what it's all about. And I don't see enough of them. throughout throughout the county fairs and with what little shows I do here in this Midwest area. But and this is a nice cow, and this is ultimately the end point in terms of where we're trying to get to. Now the same games come into play for people that want to show cows. We keep them, we keep feeding them, we keep that calf on them to keep them nursing, to keep that udder developed. But hey, let's face it, this is the end point. And I think this is a good cow. She's a 3-year-old. This would be her second calf. And if that calf's just been weaned 3 weeks ago, that heifer is got a little condition back. She's not fat by any means, but that calf hadn't drug her down too hard. The cow looks like she may be still a little upset that she's not maybe emptying that bag out a little bit here and there. But as we talked about with that cow, we change her just a little bit through that center. Time will tell as this cow evolves where that potential ease of keep falls into play. But that's a good structured animal that is elegant, attractive, and good looking, and has a good udder. I wouldn't call her a power cow, but she's big and extended and really smooth pattern and good structured. So those are the two that kind of surfaced to me. Let's give all these kids another round of applause. We'll go take another quick look and we'll select them as champion and reserve.
Congratulations to our beef breeding final drive grand champion, number 616, Kaylee Sager, and our grand reserve champion, Jenna Norman. And thank you to our trophy donations to the Fulton County Junior Fair Board for both the grand and reserve trophies.